Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with a complete walkthrough of the first dungeon in Shadowbringers. This is a level 71 dungeon, Holminster Switch. It drops level 390 gear and a chance of a rare minion and a card. Now, when you first start off in this dungeon, the main thing to realize with this is the fact that these ads hit rather hard. So if you actually have a decent group that knows how to do some decent pulls, you can pull it off, but just remember, if you're doing a pug group or if you're worried, don't take these pulls too large, because these guys, while they're not that difficult to defeat, they really pack a punch when they actually hit. Other than that, you just have some normal trash mobs that you have to fight through before you go and get to your first boss. Your first boss of this new dungeon is against Forgiven Dissonance. This character has several different mechanics, and I will show them to you and go through them in rather great detail. Mainly there's like about 5 or 6 mechanics you'll have to really pay attention to when fighting this character. First of all is a move known as Brazen Bull, where the boss will go to the center of the arena and summon 4 different orbs, and they can appear in different directions throughout the battlefield. One in either a directional line on the outside of the battlefield or a directional line throughout the middle. Now these guys will shoot out cross-shaped AoEs that go all the way across the field, and you will have to find a safe spot to stand in to avoid the AoE damage that they caused. Now, the thing is when the boss casts Brazen Bull, he'll also do a move normally known as Gibbet Cage, where the boss will go to an area, and wherever the area the boss is, a large AoE will appear around the boss during the Brazen Bull move. Now, after normally when he does the Gibbet Cage, during the damn Brazen Bull, he'll do some more moves known as Thumbscrew, where after Gibbet Cage, he will make a blue line appear in front of him and actually travel across the arena in that area. So you may have to actually wait in that AoE for the line AoEs to disappear before you get out of the boss's line of AoE to avoid taking massive damage. Now, the next move that this enemy will do will be known as Wooden Horse, which is a massive 90-degree conal AoE that normally, once again, this character will use it when he's got those dang balls on the outside as well. Those 4 orbs, which can be a pain in the butt. Now, as for a move known as Pillory, that is just your average issue tank buster, so just heal the tank through that and you should have no problem. Now, the last move that this boss will do is known as Path of Light, which is a raid-wide AoE which does moderate damage. In this case, just heal through it. Just pay attention to these moves, the main one being the Brazen Bull, and during Brazen Bull with those damn orbs shooting the line AoEs, you have to deal with Gibbet Cage and Thumbscrew. As long as you pay close attention to these AoEs and be able to get out of the way and move in time, you should be able to avoid pretty much the damage and beat this boss no problem. Alright, your next set of trash mobs really aren't going to be too spectacularly difficult. They don't hit quite as hard as the first batch, but they are still rather deadly. But they have the new addition, as you can see that little punk right there, the Switch Gremlin. Make sure you target and you kill that Switch Gremlin as fast as you possibly can, because he will target a person and hit them with slow. And in this case, you need to have everybody at top speed in order to burn these guys down. But other than that, these first couple trash mobs in this section aren't really too much of a hindrance, other than the fact that if you can't see them in that massive pile of enemies we have stacked there, make sure to click onto the Switch Gremlin and burn that little bastard down ASAP. And you'll be on to your second boss of this new dungeon. Your second boss battle will be against Slean the Forgiven. This boss has not that many mechanics really to deal with. Really not that bad. I will go through them and show them to you. Pretty much first move you have to deal with is something known as Tickler. That is just the average tank buster. So just have the healer heal through it, and the tank should have no problem in surviving Tickler. Now, there's a move known as Scold's Bridle. That is one where it is a raid-wide AoE that causes moderate damage. You'll just have to heal through it, and this enemy won't cast it throughout the battle. Now, the next main mechanic you're going to have to deal with is something known as fevered flagellation. If I say it wrong, oh well. This will be a very odd one at all. Each character will have a bubble placed over their head with a certain number of dots in it. This represents when the boss is going to attack in what order. If you have 1, you'll be the first attack, 2, the second attack, 3, the third attack, and 4, the fourth attack. And what you want to do is space yourself out in a diamond formation around the outside of the boss when he does this to avoid taking more than one hit as he flies around hitting the players. As long as you deal with it in that way, it's not a hard move to survive through. Have the heal through it and just keep on fighting. The next move that he'll do is known as Exercise, which will be a stacking AoE where you will actually see the line and you'll want to stack to avoid taking too much damage to split it. Now normally when he does this, he'll also cast these large circle AoEs that'll stay on the ground around you. So you want to stack in a way to where you can also get out of the AoE attack. Other than that, that's really the only moves that this boss does is Tickler, which is a tank buster, Scold's Bridle, which is a raid wide AoE that you have to heal through, Fevered Flagellation, which is where you put the icon over your head that you have to place yourself away from the other characters outside of the boss, that way to avoid the boss as he attacks you in the order of 1 through 4, and Exercise, which you want to stack to alleviate the AoE damage and split it amongst the other players and avoid the AoEs that appear on the ground beneath you. As long as you see and watch out for these damaging attacks, you'll be able to beat Slean the Forgiven and move on to the third section of this dungeon. The final set of mobs you'll have to deal with before you get to the final fight is almost like an arena sort of battle. You'll go to the central area and basically all you have to do is burn down and kill the adds and they will appear in a certain order. After you defeat the first group of adds, the next eggs will hatch. You'll have to defeat them. The next eggs will hatch. You'll defeat them. And you rinse and repeat until you've destroyed all the eggs and the final egg will hatch and you kill them. Then it will allow you to progress to the final section of this dungeon, to the final boss. The final boss of this new dungeon is against Philia, and Philia has all kinds of different mechanics you'll have to pay close attention to in order to survive this battle. Now, first up is a move simply known as Scavenger's Daughter. It is a raid-wide AoE damage that is moderate that you'll just have to heal through. Nothing that you can avoid, but whenever you see the Scavenger's Daughter is going to appear, be ready to heal. Next up is a move simply known as Head Crusher, which is this boss's version of a tank buster. Just have the tank survive it, heal through it, and move on. And the next move is known as Pendulum. This one is quite interesting. You will see arrows appear over the tank. The boss will jump to the tank and then jump back into the center of the arena to do a big, large AoE damage. Now make sure whenever the tank is targeted with this, they move to the outside arena while everyone moves to the opposite end of the arena, making sure not to stay in the center. Because when he hits it, it will hit you and hurt hard. The next move is known as something called Chain Down, where it will randomly target a character and trap them with a chain as he charges up a move known as Ether Sup. Now you must destroy the chain that has got the person stuck before he fully charges this attack and get out of the way of the AoE blast or you will be killed. Now, the next move that is by far the main one that gets people killed is known as either Left Knout or Right Knout. What he'll do is he'll turn to a random player and swing his fist in a massive 300-degree AoE. Now, if it's his left side, which he does telegraph it fairly easily, get to his right side of his body ASAP. If it's his right hand that goes up, get to his left, and you can avoid taking some pretty massive damage. The next move he'll do is known as Tephlophobia, where he places purple AoEs over all the players. This is nothing more than spreading out and not stacking this AoE as it attacks you, and it doesn't really do too much damage. Now, the next move is known as Into the Light, which is a line stack mechanic. You'll actually see it appear, and what you want to do is stack and have the other characters in front of the one with the main icon to pretty much split the damage accordingly to avoid you taking massive damage. Now, the final mechanic this boss does does, which is by far the most deadliest, is known as Fierce Beating, where he will pick a random character and turn towards him, and you'll see arrows start spinning around the boss in a certain direction in which he's going to move to. Now, you want to make sure that you are very close to his side and watch out, because normally he'll do a tail swipe, so if you're anywhere near his backside as he's turning doing this, you will take massive damage, go flying up into the air, and pretty much get a vulnerability added to your character that will stack. He will keep spinning in a circle with a whip tail followed by a hand pound. And he'll do this quite a lot, actually. It takes quite a long time, so be ready to actually follow him around multiple times before he finally stops this move. Those are pretty much all the main moves of Philia that he does. A Scavenger's Daughter, which is a rune-wide AoE damage that does moderate damage you'll have to heal through. Head Crusher, which is the tank buster. Pendulum, where he jumps to the tank and then jumps back to the center for a massive AoE. Chain Down, where he will target an enemy and lock him in place, and you will have to burn down the chain and have the person get out of the Ether Sup blast before he completes it. Left, Right, and Out, where if he lifts up his right fist, get to his left side. If he lifts up his left fist, get to his right side. Tectophobia, which is purple AoEs you want to spread out to alleviate the damage. Into the Light, which is a line stacking mechanic, and the one that is hands down the most one that wipes people on this is Fierce Beating, where he picks that character and watch the arrows that spin around him so you'll know which direction to move to avoid his tail pound and his hand pound. As long as you can handle these mechanics, you'll beat Philia and beat this first dungeon of the new Shadowbringers content, and maybe, just maybe, if you get that lucky RNG roll, get that super rare minion and that sweet card. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching these videos. Please hit that like button. It helps my channel out a lot. Hit the bell icon to stay up to date when I release new dungeon walkthroughs for Shadowbringers. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.